pop-up podcast. Hey, this young brother right here doing major things in the home city, in the home state, doing big things. See him on not IG. I see him on LinkedIn, not IG. We're on LinkedIn doing major stuff. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, brother.
How you doing, brother? My name is Jonathan Green. I'm Pensacola's own, born and raised,
Definitely.
and I am on IG as well. Jay Green, the Revolutionary.
There you go. There you go. Well, I guess I just don't follow you on there, so that's why I gotta follow you
All
now.
good.
I gotta follow you now, man. So, like, what's been happening? What's the whole deal?
Well, uh, right now I'm back in the classroom. Ever since the mayoral race ended last year,
Mm-hmm.
and just educating the young minds. I teach reading with the emphasis on social justice, so
Gotcha.
that's my passion right there, and just educating the minds on how we can advance people for true equality.
Gotcha.
And then that's what I do on the grassroots level as well. Just try to encourage people to become knowledgeable of different issues.
Excellent. How'd you get into this? Cause you kind of young, bro. Like you are.
Well, I'll be 33 this year, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, after I graduated from Booker T. Washington, I went to South Alabama, University of South Alabama in Mobile,
I know
got
where
a
it is.
degree in criminal justice.
Excellent.
I worked in social services for a few years while I got a master's in criminal justice,
Good.
and then I came back home for a year and a half, maybe, and worked investigating child abuse in Escambia County.
Gotcha.
And just the things I saw doing that, it was really putting a band-aid on a much larger societal issue because racism is a very prevalent issue, but
Mm-hmm.
I think once people realize that more, we have more of an issue of economic
Definitely.
disparity, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we have most in common.
Gotcha.
I think if we realize that the middle class and even the upper middle class are still lower class than the top 1%, the upper class,
Definitely.
that lower class is lower class, whether you're impoverished or you're doing a little better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just knowing that the societal expectations of people was not providing for true welfare. So, all in all, I was investigating child abuse, and then I decided to go to law school, and I attended Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana,
Oh yeah.
and I wanted to learn the legal system, not to practice law, but to get that understanding, that knowledge,
Gotcha.
to help on a grassroots level, bring it back to the people who need it.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of times people don't go get an attorney until they're in trouble or they need help with a situation. Well,
Mm-hmm.
let's take that mindset and have a more proactive uh, frame of mind on how we handle society and how we handle everyday people.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So you started off with that. You did, um, investigating the child abuse stuff, and then you just kind of sort of built upon that. Now, do you have an organization? You have a foundation, something like that, to where you really um, get into some of these issues a little more
In depth.
speedy? Yeah, like can you get into more stuff like that with people from the platform, or is it just you're doing this stuff kind of sort of on your own? It's just kind of showing
Um,
people.
More so, I do things on my own because
Gotcha.
large ideology that I have of mine is maintaining my independence, my sovereignty, not being in anyone's pocket, so to speak.
Gotcha.
So, being true to my morals and values and hoping to exude that and let other people take my genuine abilities for what they are.
Gotcha. So you're mainly just trying to be the advocate and just say, hey, these are the steps and do this, and then you turn around and be kind of like a consultant to some people, like if
So
they
to
need to.
speak,
Yeah,
but consultant's a nice way to put it.
I know.
Uh, but yeah, it's about liberating minds and
Gotcha.
being able to have people think independently and educated, making educated decisions because they've done the research. We live in an information age
Definitely.
where, and we are the most liberated, we're the most free that we've ever been in society, just based on where we are naturally in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have a long way to go, but at the same time, we have to. For instance, I believe that human rights
Mm-hmm.
are just that, they are rights. So, being a human rights advocate, you know, right now I'm breathing air, you're breathing air right now, perfectly fine. But if we were to have a healthcare emergency and we needed oxygen, they're going to literally charge us an arm and a leg to provide us oxygen tanks or anything else. But oxygen is a human necessity. So why is it healthcare is so trivial when it's something we know we need for our survival, as well as food, shelter, and education? I believe is a human right as well, because the minds that we can educate could potentially be the mind that can transform the way we live for the betterment of all people.
Definitely.
So if we are able to nurture that among all of our children and even adults, we can really create effective change.
That's what I'm talking
But we
about.
have to be willing to invest in every single person, and we are capable of doing so because on average, the United States spends about $30,000 per inmate that they house in jail or prison, whereas per year, every student is about $8,000 spent
Gotcha.
on that child's education. So when you look at numbers like that, we can definitely stop the school to prison pipeline if we change how we invest dollars from investing in inmates and start investing in our children. But of course, that doesn't help make money when you talk about the prison industrial complex and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that slavery still exists because of the 13th Amendment exemption.
Definitely. I understand. That's, I mean, like I said, very deep, very deep. So, I guess on a lighter note, what are
Right on.
some of the rewards you have found, like doing your work, or have you had anybody just hit you up and just say, "Brother, you helped me out," or "I went through this," or whatever? Has anything like that happened recently, or
Yeah,
you know?
well, for me, the reward comes just. I felt blessed at the age of 26. I knew my purpose in life that I
Mm-hmm.
feel God has uh, placed upon me, and at 27, I understood it because what is knowledge without understanding?
Definitely.
But in that same breath, yeah, just the people from one of my wife's students, who my wife teaches at Pine Forest, one of her students that
Mm-hmm.
she teaches, um, he wrote me a letter during the mayoral race, giving me words of encouragement,
Excellent.
but uh, it was really him telling me how I was an inspiration to him. But I took them as words of encouragement as well, just because
Definitely.
that's what it takes in in our generation. Because, like I said, I'm 33. The government has essentially killed off a generation of our leaders through the crack epidemic,
Mm-hmm.
and we are our own elders now because the generation before that
I like that.
are either dying or
I like how you said that.
uh, are too old to be out in the streets doing what we are well capable of doing.
Definitely.
So it's very humbling. I've learned a lot about myself, and in turn, I've learned a lot about other people.
Definitely.
So I just appreciate every moment that I have.
So with that being said, now this is a little personal question. How, like, I grew up in Pensacola, born and raised, been there all my life, and literally had to dip out in 2012. That was it. And I didn't see no progression. I didn't see nobody really stepping up to the plate. Most people who had some stuff left, um, on the court or whatever. How did you say, you know what? Nah, we're gonna start here in the Gulf Coast, in one of the reddest parts of Florida. Um, like, how'd you take that and just be like, look, it's about to happen. We're about to go. Let's do this.
Well,
And I just want to
it's
kind of
kind
sort
of
of
funny
know,
because
yeah,
in a sense, I've always said that no matter what I did, I had to start from home because I
yeah,
have such what I feel are great ideas that can really help others.
mm-hmm,
That if I didn't start from home, all my work would be futile. Like
Gotcha.
I'm born in Pensacola. I'm raised. My family's from here, and just knowing the plight that I see,
Yeah.
especially the disparities between the upper class and the lower classes,
Yeah.
um, that we could really have a great opportunity to make a change, not just in Pensacola, but in Florida and within this country. Because I mean, we see what's going on in the news,
Yeah.
a lot of different uh, acts of violence, whether they be racist or other forms of discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
But no one is willing to call truth to power
Gotcha.
and call things for what it is. And I believe that's where we are in this world, where if we get back to being honest
Mm-hmm.
about the reality of things, um, we can start having faith in humanity again.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a real good way of saying that. Because, like I said, yeah, I couldn't hack it. I mean, it's nothing bad. I knew, once again, I had great ideas, and it was just like, okay, it ain't working up here or down there. Let me try somewhere else, or whatever the case is. So, but it's really good to see somebody stay there and keep it moving. So that's a really good thing. So, let's see. You are on the Gulf Coast. You already know about what's up. So let's get into the little spitfire round real quick. 5 questions, 4 questions, something like that. That, hey, guess what? Only somebody from Pensacola, Florida will probably know. Um, where is Mardi Gras held at, or where did Mardi Gras start at? And if you
So you're gonna get me in trouble because I went to law school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but I did do my undergraduate studies in Mobile,
That's
Alabama.
right.
So if you want to go to the history of it, there were 2 brothers, and the first brother started Mardi Gras in Mobile, and shortly thereafter, the other brother went to New Orleans, and that's when theirs started. So
Gotcha.
Mobile, Alabama, I would have to say.
You already know that. You already know that. Um, do you like seafood?
Most definitely.
Most stuff. So what's like your number one go to when it comes to the seafood?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. That, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Me and my partner was just talking about this. We want to go fishing tonight because the weather is perfect.
It is.
So getting a rod and reel and going down to Pensacola Bay
That's
is
what I'm
nothing better than taking that relaxing time and pulling up what you catch.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So I guess the last question is going to be, are you happy with Booker T. Washington right now and their whole basketball squad?
Am I happy
With them, yes.
with Booker T. Washington and their basketball squad?
Yes.
Well,
Because I haven't heard no noise.
being an alumni of Booker T. Washington, there's always room for improvement.
Gotcha.
And knowing the glory that we have had once upon a time, I have full faith that we will have that glory restored.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. No, I mean, like I said, because my high school's not there no more. Go with them. And, yeah. So I have to, go with Washington.
I understand. But see, that's another issue right there in itself, because and see, I'm an educator, but we cannot afford to close community schools that serve communities that need those schools.
Definitely.
And for instance, McMillan is closing soon, but like I said, that's another issue for potentially another day. But there's always something to fight for.
Hey, excellent. That's what I'm talking about, brother. So once again, let everybody know your social media accounts, where they can find you at and all that.
All right, I'm at Jay Green the Revolutionary on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at Jay Green the Revolutionary. Also, my website, www.jgarrettgreen.com.
Hey, that's what it is. Yo, hometown heroes, man. Promise Mango. You see, Jay? Hey, Pensacola.
I appreciate you having me, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother, for taking the time, man. Hey, y'all. We'll see y'all in a little bit. Talk to y'all later. Hey, What is it called? I'm so confused right now, but it's a pop-up podcast because guess what? I got like 3 other podcasts I'm doing. I'm thinking I'm doing the beer stuff because, hey, I'm down here at Campus Gas. I wasn't in the town today. But, it's not NC Brew Crew. It is the pop-up podcast. So, pop-up podcast. We'll see y'all in a little bit. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, yeah.